So I would request all the participants to kindly turn off their mic. Okay, hi everyone, and I like to request one more time to all the participants that kindly turn off your mic during the webinar. The moment we will have a Q&A session, you can ask questions, you can raise your hand at that moment also.
Sumant sir, please mute
Yeah.
all the participants.
Okay.
Do not allow to unmute yourself.
Okay. So, hi, Praveen sir. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Suman sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Amit sir.
Very good morning to all the participants.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning, Suman sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just wait.
Shall we begin, Suman sir? Or...
Yeah. Amit sir, would you like to say something at the very beginning? And then only
Yes,
you
sir.
can start. Yeah.
First of all, sir, I am welcoming the Mr. Praveen Kumar, sir, So on the behalf of Sage University and the iNurture, to giving a knowledge and sharing her knowledge with our students. So welcome you on the behalf of Sage and iNurture.
Thank you so much, Amit.
Over to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Suman sir,
Yeah, Praveen sir, we may start from this.
may I
point.
start, and meanwhile you can start running the slide as you are.
Yeah, okay. Let me give.
But I'm starting, and
I think the
then you
slide
can
is visible to everyone. To you also.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
See, dear participants, I would like to what is my plan of discussion today? I have got a little briefing about your level where you are studying and all. So I have a little concept about that. But still, I would like to, the expected outcome of this particular discussion is going to related to your understanding on the quality assurance, various tools of the quality, what is total quality management, how Six Sigma is important, and how lean methods are being exceedingly utilized by the organizations these days. And these are some of the things which is very, very commonsensical. It doesn't require you to be an expert of a very high sort or a statistical expert to at least conceptualize the things. Suman sir is one of the finest statistician which you can get in my comprehension, what I have an understanding. So you already have a good resource about the statistics and all. I would like to discuss about the, so at the end of the session, you are definitely going to have a better comprehension about the quality scenario and Six Sigma and Lean. And you will have an abstract understanding and conceptual framework. That is my, effort that you should have a better comprehension. This is what my thinking is. So Six Sigma we are going to define, but before that we would like to have two important key points which we need to begin with. We need to understand what is these 2 points which I would like to stress and little discuss about. One is what is quality and what is standardization, and how these two are correlated, and how this conceptual framework is required for our better understanding of the subject matter or the discussion of Six Sigma and Lean, Six Sigma and methods. So whenever we talk about quality, let's first discuss about the quality. So quality, we would talk about previous slide, sir. We would be like to be in the quality first. Key points. Okay. So key points for the quality, if we have to discuss, when we talk of quality, if we have to discuss, when we say this product is a quality, say for in a Stone Age period, a sharp rock would have been a very good quality knife. But right now, the ultra laser sharp knife is a quality. So if at this point of time, if we give somebody a rock tool, which was in the prehistoric age or Pashan Yug, which we call in Hindi, Stone Ages, Flintstone, you must have understood the characteristics and all. So if you are in the Flintstone Ages, at that time, having a very sharp stone would have been a very good product for cutting and shelving and everything. But right now, this is not a quality. We need to have a very for a tomato cutting, we need to have a different kind of knife. For a, we have a quality series of knife. Those who are, if some of your friends are in hotel management and all, you would realize, or how does the Gordon Ramsay do the chopping and cutting and everything. So he will use different kind of knives at a different point of time. So this is a perceptual framework. At the Flintstone Age or a Stone Age period, human beings had an expectation of a product which has been dynamically improving over the period of time. And we cannot say that quality is, if it differs from time to time. It is a perceptual framework. It is related to expectation. It is a psychological framework also. So if right now I am delivering you something, you had a set of expectation out of my talk or you had an expectation for a takeaway after this discussion. So if I am not meeting that particular standard of your expectation, I am reducing the quality. If I'm able to, you had a lesser expectation, I am delivering you more, then this talk will be considered to be of quality. So this is like, one thing is product. I have given you an example of a knife. Another example is of a service, which is my lecture discussion. So product and service. So ultimately, any product or service has to bring certain satisfaction among the user or consumer. So if you are satisfied with the quality of product or services, the teaching or a discussion or a webinar, whatever it is, so you would consider it to be of quality. So it is a perceptual framework. We need to, like, there is certain expectation, you need to match or overcome that expectation. And you would have come across, have you seen this particular thing? Have you seen this particular, punchline of Canon, that delighting you always? So there is something called customer delight. So what is customer delight? And it is related to our quality Six Sigma and Lean. Why? Because we strive for customer delight or the user delight. So this delight happens when you exceed the expectation of the user or consumer, or a student for a teacher, whatever, that customer delight. So delightful experience, delighting you always is a Canon punchline. So that they are, like, very advanced. The Japanese organization, so they have this philosophical. So understand that things are highly philosophical, even in management. It is not, the philosophy is an integral part of this. So quality is a philosophy. Six Sigma is a philosophy, and we need to adhere to it. So there is a belief system related to it. So this is what my little introduction, and I would like to talk about how standardization is significant for quality and Six Sigma. So I would like to talk about when we say but current modern day situation, like you board a flight, you go from Ranchi to Delhi, or Indore to Delhi or Bombay, whatever, and you have a expectation that a flight will, like, food will be served nicely, the air hostess will greet you warmly, the seat will be comfortable, food will be hot. These are some of the standardizations. Sometimes 5 times you traveled and the food was served hot, but then 6th time the food was cold. So it is a deviation of the quality, isn't it? You say that the experience of that particular service was not good, or the air hostess didn't respond to you warmly, and she, like, she didn't talk to you with a greetings or smile or whatever. So it is a deviation of the standard. So if you are manufacturing a car, say for example, and your windshield or one of the product, like your speaker is not, or there is not a wheel alignment, or a balance is not there, or a wind wiper is not functioning well, or whatever, one of the standard which you had an expectation is deviating. So you will have a perception that the quality is compromised, and the product is not of the standard quality, or the services are not of the standard quality. So you understand, whenever standardization is key to the quality and the quality management. So whenever a 5-time service is delivered, so service quality management assurance is itself a challenging thing compared to product, because you have a physical evidence, and here it is a total experiential thing. So product and services, you have to understand that standardization is related to quality and standardization. So we would like to talk about how Six Sigma is significant for our conceptual framework of what the quality is, and how the, so whenever you have Sigma is a notation for standard deviation. Have you do you have a comprehension on it? I hope you must be having it. This is a standard deviation. And when we deviate, deviation is related to deviation from where? Deviation from standard, or a set standard, or like a benchmark. So benchmark deviation. So Six Sigma here it is written is a statistical concept that represents how much variation there is in a process relative to customer specifications. There was specifications are what standards, and there are certain deviation. If it is deviation, so you have to understand that statistically how will you realize what is the deviation and all. For that you need to like do the data capturing and analyze, and then finally get into the level of analysis where how much there has been a deviation. And now this is sigma is a deviation. Sigma value is like defect per million opportunity, DPMO they are calling. And now you understand ki one side deviation, it is allowing what is 6 sigma? It is talking about equivalent to 3.4 DPMO. 3.4 DPMO is 6 sigma. It means like 1 million opportunity, it will be having 3.4 defects allowed. Then it is 6 sigma standard. And now you understand 3.4, 3 on one side. If the bell curve, if you have a comprehension bell curve, so bell curve 3 standard deviation from the standard, and from the right hand side and the left hand side. So either the product will exceed or be below the standard, whatever. So that kind of non-standard product, higher or lower, whatever, on the either side, 3 plus 3 gets into 4. So that you can say it as a 6 total deviation from left hand side. So 3 defects per million opportunities on either side of the bell curve of a normal bell curve is 6 sigma. That is and you understand this is 99.99966% defect free. That is a high standard. We have other slide where we would like to talk about there to better comprehend the things and all. We will discuss about. See, this is the 6 sigma concept which you have on your slide. This is a target of 100% perfection, and the defect value is marked in red. Customer specification is like a garage size, how you are parking your car in a garage. So red hand side is a defect. If you exceed, there will be bumping or damage to the car and all. So it is 6 sigma is as simple as parking your car or your bike, whatever, into your garage. So if you have error, then you have scratches on your car. So this is what this range is customer specification from left to right. You want to be absolutely in the middle, but there is some scope of deviation. But beyond the customer specification, if the product lies or the services lies, then we will call it defect. And this red line is here in the 6 sigma level. It has to be so perfect that only 3.4 defects per million opportunity is allowed. So we would like to switch to the next slide. See, this is not visible. Okay, yeah, it is visible. Very good. So how this, you understand what is this 3.8 sigma and 3 sigma. This is just like, there is some, excuse me. How 6 sigma and not so 6 sigma, I would like to just look at one thing. When 99% products are good, that's 3.8 sigma as, I would like to just have a disclaimer on that. But if the product is 99.99966% good, and how the 99% good quality, like 1% only defect and 3 defects per million allowed. So how there are certain examples how this quality is, why you need to manage. One, if you will look at this, in airport, if you have a short landing and or long landings, you understand where the air strips are defined, it is of a particular length. And there are some safe limit. You should stop within this limit. So if you stop little too quickly, you will have higher jerk. And if you have a longer landing, then you may you may skid away from the air strip. So if you have a 99% in an airport like Mumbai or Dubai or whatever, Delhi, so that is a danger, definitely. Higher jerk, higher accident, fatality, and it may skid also. It may, like, detract from the airstrip. So too short or landing will happen if it is 99% perfect perfection. Then every day too short or long landing may happen at the airport, Mumbai or Dubai kind of airport, or Delhi kind of airport. And but if you are Six Sigma compliant and your quality standards are of that high, then such kind of incidents will happen once in 5 years. So this is the significance of quality of a Six Sigma level. Well, it is still considered key. Nobody is perfect. So, but we can always strive for a perfection. So there are many examples which you can have a look forward for. I just wanted to have a highlighting on one of the things. One, I would like to talk about, Suman sir, we need to conclude this particular talk at what time? This session, there is a break at what time? 12?
Yeah, it's 12:10.
12:10, no? So
Yeah.
we can continue for some next 18 minutes.
Yeah.
So, so we would like to talk about little about the, I hope things are online, and if you have any question or deviation you would want to raise something, you may ask. And anybody, anybody, you may raise questions.
If anybody
can
have a question, then you can send me on chat, or you can raise your hand so that I can unmute you from here. Both the things will work.
So we would like to come to next slide, and we will talk about little bit of the history about how this, where did it come from and all. So this concept has come from Motorola Corporation in the mid 80s. So it is like when you were not born. The Six Sigma concept is older than you. And when the company discovered that products at a high first pass yield, that is those that made it through the production process defects free, rarely failed in actual use, resulting in higher customer satisfaction. So it was it started with the in Motorola companies in 1998, and then it was like popularized by GE. Next button, please.
Okay.
See, Jack Welch from the GE achieved Six Sigma capabilities, and he realized that he could save in GE $12 billion over 5 years using this particular methodology, because any defect is a waste, and waste is a cost of money. Like you are manufacturing anything. So even one car is, one Mercedes is not perfect. Once you manufacture, you have an opportunity loss of something around 25 lakhs to 50 lakhs. So on an average, I'm talking about. So every defect-free product is a profit, and every defect or every fault is a cost. So you have to, it is having a commercial, and there is the value proposition thing is, value proportion thing is related to quality. I would like to talk little here, as the word has come, the value. So I would like to give you a concept about what value is, and you all have a little understanding on what value is, and you would have come across value added tax, VAT. This value added tax was, I would like to just give you a little example how value is. Value is once again a measure of perception measurement of the quality standard and worth, you would say. You have gehu, wheat. Wheat is sold for something around, say, 15 kg from the farm, 10 to 15 rupees per kg. Wheat is available in the post-harvest season in their farm. Once you do a packaging and everything, the wheat, or you transport it to a city location, the wheat is costing you something around 20 rupees. Value addition is the transportation, and the value addition per kg is roughly 5 rupees. Now you do a washing and you grind it. Now your ITC Ashirvad Atta is able to sell its wheat flour at a rate of something around 35 rupees per kg. 15 to 35 just grinding, transportation and grinding, 100% value addition. Now somebody, a small hotelier, dhaba kind of thing I'm talking about, not restaurant, dhaba kind of people, are making roti or chapati out of that particular wheat flour, and in 1 kg roughly 30 to 40 roti he is able to make, and on an average in a dhaba kind of setup, highway dhaba, 5 rupees per roti is sold for one roti is sold for 5 rupees. Now you understand the 30 into 5 is 150. So you understand the value addition in these two steps are 10 times, from 15 rupees to 150 rupees. So this is what a value addition and value of a particular product is. The finer you process it, and this is a total concept related to value. So this is one of the concept I just wanted to bring into your mind. What is the abstract concept of value? So next we will talk on this in the slides to come. So Suma sir, maybe go to the next slide.
All right. Okay.
See, this slide, which you are looking at, there are certain methodology. In any framework, if you have a belief that quality is important, and and how to get the quality, this is a belief system. The quality is important. We call it ontology. The next methods comes to the next step comes to epistemology, like the various methods, and then the methodologies. So methodologies is like a belief system that quality is significant, total quality is important, and then we need to get into the methodology after epistemology. So this particular, we call it as a DMAIC, DMAIC, or DMADV. So this is nothing but an acronym. You understand now? Like Pandit Bhola Prasad Har Har Bolo. If you can remember how to find out this resistance. Measurement of the resistance in your 11th and 12th in physics, you would have remembered, na? Black, brown, and all. We call it. We make certain acronym for easy remembrance. What will the color code of over a resistance to identify the value of the resistance? So, so here it is nothing but a short form for define, D for define, M for measure, A for analyze, I for improve, and C for control. So we would discuss one step each, and the similar method is not too deviate, but it has a it is similar. Mostly DMAIC is a universally accepted and very simple and very very significant method how you can improve upon. How you can manage this whole situation. So DMADV calls about key define, measure, analyze, both are common. Here is the improve is the, here you need to have design, and then you have verify. Verify is the control, like verify. These are
Yeah.
I made what do you need to define? Define is in an interview when you talk about tell me something about yourself for your any placement interview which you are likely to face in days to come. Tell me something about yourself is the answer which defines you. That is what is a definition is. And what is definition for a normal situation? See, whenever we do like a knowledge quest or knowledge search, or whenever we do kind of a research, or research is like finding out knowledge quest. You are studying, you are like you are gathering certain knowledge. So there are two methods. Whenever you will do some kind of project or research, there will be two kind of things. You like in very starting time, you will find out key problem definition. One terminology in your project report, problem definition, and one other is the knowledge gap. So problem definition is application part. Whenever you have an application, you have a manufacturing system, then you define problem. And what is this problem? Why you need to do all these paraphernalia? Why in your you have this song now, why this cola very D? This definition is why. So why are we doing all this process? So what we define, we identify the problems, and this problem are the need for doing all this Six Sigma and processes. So when we define key, identifying the problem is the definition. So measure, you need to have certain statistical methodologies. I would like to just take your little bit of time, we have Suman sir, 10, na? 12, 10, na?
Yeah, Praveen sir, actually we have two questions meanwhile. We have
Okay.
7 minutes more to go.
Yeah.
So, may I ask on behalf of the participants?
Yeah, please go ahead. It's okay.
Actually, Divya is asking that sir, can companies achieve 7 Sigma for 100% good, or will it be waste of resources as companies to advantages gained? What I can understand is say maybe asking that whether Six Sigma can be achievable or not.
Six Sigma is achieved by many companies, but
Yeah,
see,
7 Sigma. She's
100%.
asking for 7 Sigma. I think Six Sigma is still much difficult to achieve. So we would like to listen your view.
See the difference between what is the measurement of 7 Sigma? She need to define that. On the higher, like 100% and zero defect.
Okay, you mean to say that one of the participants were also asking that, so sir, what is six and what is Sigma? What is Sigma and what is Six Sigma? So
see, Sigma is the standard deviation. Deviation from the standard. So we talked about the standardization of the product. If you can remember.
Okay, you mean to say, sir, that Sigma is nothing but a statistical concept that is calculating deviation from the mean.
Deviation from the mean. It is perfect. But what are you capturing in the stats? You are capturing the exact physical activities, or like a health stats. Or stats is not only number. Number represents certain phenomena or a physical activity, you can call it. So 100% matching the specification is, force majeure, or we call it now COVID. Nobody expected that COVID will happen. Nobody knew 2 years back, but COVID has happened, and it has made certain deviation, and there are many new normals which has come up. So nobody can have 100. Change is the permanent concept. Change is the only permanent thing. So deviation 100%, it will be not very practical. You can minimize, and the student should be disciplined. How many of you are disciplined? Well, in report card, if you have to give, statistically we capture, sometimes you had bunked the class, sometimes you didn't feel like, you simply stayed in the toilet for a longer period of time, or you simply went outside the campus where you were not supposed to go out, and that kind of stuff is there. Many of you might have simply logged in, and in order to get the certificate, and the learning outcome may not be happening. So it is there are many things which you cannot control, and which is beyond your control in a given point of time. But yes, like proctored, whoever is right now attending the this particular webinar, if there is a mechanism for proctor, but you can still bypass that proctoring, like you can do cheating in the examination. So in an online examination, you have new opportunities, so new methodologies. How do you bypass the standard? So examinations are even still manipulated. So these are philosophically, I don't think 100% is, in my comprehension, 100% achievement is not possible. You have certain.
One of the question there is from some participant, and is saying that, sir, you mean to say that Six Sigma is something, meaning this is a set of method through which you can achieve better quality, or you can improve quality.
Yeah,
and set
exactly. Perfect explanation, perfect comprehension. Yes, that is what I am trying to tell you. This is why do you have why do you go to, when you were in +2 and you were preparing for engineering or IT or higher education, so you were going to tuition. So was tuition required? You could have studied in the classroom, but these are some of the tools which you have. to improve upon. Like if you are having a bike, you can go fast to the location and you can save some time. There are also some counter effect, like, you may compromise in your health, but still, like, you have to travel 10 kilometers. So walking may not be good, or you cannot ride on the cycle. So if you have a motorbike, then it improves your efficiency and it improves your control. So that kind of concepts I would like to say it. Do you have any more questions? Any participant?
Yeah, one of the question is they are asking that, sir, meaning is there any set of fixed methods are there? Meaning, is there any standard methods are there which one can follow and can improve its quality?
See,
Meaning
this
they
is
are
like
also saying below that is it domain dependent component? Meaning it will work in a domain but not in another one. So every domain people have to analyze its own methods, but the objective is just to achieve quality.
see, I would say ki there are, I told you, right, in initial that change is the only constant. So in philosophically, I'm talking about, you go to a doctor, you are sick, you go to a doctor and doctor prescribe you paracetamol, and you have a fever, paracetamol, then you trust the doctor that this is the best medication which is possible. But it may happen that you go to other doctor and he may say, no, paracetamol may not be good for you. Rather you take nimesulide and you do like, water, head wash, and you rather go for this particular antibiotic, because these two cause, one is treating symptomatically, one is addressing the cause for the or one is simply no paracetamol required. Only you have a malaria, he's diagnosed you with somebody has diagnosed it with high fever, somebody has diagnosed with malaria, so he is treating quinine or chloroquine, and he is giving only the paracetamol. So this is like, expertise available. My concept, if you meet with somebody like, very, very, very high expert, or somebody who is low, so but everybody will have a different prescription. An MBBS prescribing, an MD prescribing, a super specialist prescribing. So, but philosophically, these methods, see, methodologies will be the same, say like DMA, IC. But
Sir,
when
I
you
may
measure
interrupt you.
what are the factors you are capturing, when you are analyzing what are the methodology you are using, control mechanism, how you are administrating, what is the punitive action, these will all differ. But philosophical framework, that bimari hai to ilaj hona chahiye kind of thing, so that will
Sir,
be always same. But yeah,
yeah,